All right, stand by. Hope you guys made it okay. Hey, folks, how you doing out there? Yeah, did you guys notice my ring finger here? Uh, Boy, I'll tell you guys a story before we jump into this. So this is proof that I'm getting old. This is proof, if you needed proof, and you don't. But I sat for a long time working on something, and then I got up and my feet fell asleep, and I fell. I fell, and this happened, and then I broke my phone. I broke the glass to my phone. So there it is. So moral of the story, just sitting. I can no longer sit. There'll be no more sitting. It's just lying down or standing. But yeah, thanks for noticing. I got to. I'm kind of letting it air dry. For a hot minute there. But hey, welcome guys. Welcome. So this is an important song. You know, this is one of those ones. I didn't realize this song is in the 500 greatest songs of all time, according to Rolling Stone. Did you guys know that? I could not believe it. And of course, it's so apropos, given that they are drinking Scotch whiskey in the song. And I could have picked a song more appropriate for St. Paddy's Day, but that would have took foresight. And, but anyways, we're here and we're looking at Deacon Blues. So before we do it, and I definitely want to touch base with you guys on any questions on this one and just in general. But I found out some really cool information about this song. And there's a really great interview with Donald Fagen about it. I was sort of turned on to this song at a young age because of the harmony. And we'll talk about the harmony and just sitting is very dangerous. Sitting's the new cancer. You know what I mean? That doesn't only make you fat after a while and all your stuff doesn't work. But apparently they're after your fingers now, folks. So when you're thinking about this song, this song is it's off of Asia. It was released in 1978. Fagen and Walter Becker wrote it. Apparently, they wrote it at their Malibu home. So they were already doing well. Maybe they just rented. Let's hope they rented. So the song it's a real trip. You would think this song was about some sort of deep, heavy meaning story of being down and out in New York. No, it's about they call Alabama the Crimson Tide, so call me Deacon Blues. And apparently what this means is nerds should have cool names too. Because Walter, and all you got to do is sort of look at a fight, and since Walter Becker isn't here anymore, but Fagen, I'm sure you're watching. If you look at him, this is excellent looking guys. Don't look right away and don't have a full meal. But they were not probably the most popular kids at school, according to them, actually. And so they thought they deserved cool nicknames. And Deacon Blues was the nickname they came up with. And it was actually inspired by a Rams fullback called Deacon Jones, which is before my trading card collecting period of time. So you guys might know that one. Obviously, this is before the Rams were in Los Angeles, too. So Deacon Blues was the answer to the Crimson Tide Alabama football team, which they found to be a very hyperbolic name for a football team. I don't know. The whole, all the songs are quite, the line of thought in them is, exactly. Thanks, Bruce. Jim, great to see you guys. Hope you guys are having Irish whiskey or at least vermouth, So the song's got some great session players. Did you guys know that D. Marks, who's a guitarist that I know here in L.A. that's played on a number of Steely Dan songs and a number of other. He's a massive, massive session player during this period of time. Larry Carlton, and then Lee Rittenhauer. All three of them play on this song. And so if you didn't need more guitar players besides Walter Becker, also Bernard Purdy plays drums on this, and the saxophone player from The Tonight Show is actually the one that plays the sax solo on it. So if you're wondering why the sax solo is so good, and there's an interview with him talking about having gone and done the session, played twice, played a solo, played some melody, sort of lines, counterpoint lines, and then heard it in the bathroom at the airport, and that's when he knew that it was a big deal. So it's a really, this is one of those songs, if you listen to the early Steely Dan stuff, there was still quite a bit of just kind of direct, normal songwriting going on in there. And by this point, by Asia, Steely Dan is no longer playing by the rules. It's almost the anti-pop, right? Not the Lady Gaga anti-pop, the actual anti-pop, meaning non-functional harmony. And what do I mean by that? Non-functional harmony means we're not really staying in line with Haydn and Mozart in any degree whatsoever. We're not landing on one chords. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. So non-functional harmony that really follows the voice leading of the melody. There's a great cover band in San Diego called Steely Jazz. Of course, there must be, right? We all know what Steely Dan stands for, of course, which is apropos to this entire thing. So voice leading is really what it's about. So you guys let me know what your favorite parts of this are, but mine is definitely just this. So we start out the song, and you're already we've moved through a lot of keys. And so when we look at this in an analytical way, and I uploaded on the Patreon for anybody that's interested, the full score of this, and I'm going to upload you guys my solo guitar score as well on Patreon. So the phone is broken. It's at Apple right now. I came back just to do this, just because I care so much about a Deacon Blues. And once I get it back, I'll scan it, put my solo guitar arrangement up there. But listen to these. This is a bunch of different keys. This is why it's hard to know what key this song is in. So this is like C major 7, the 5 is C major 7 with the 3rd in the bass, arguably. B flat major 7. So we're all over the place. We're just too cool for school right out of the gate, right? And then from that point, we do start to get in the meat of the song. So apparently Greg, founded in 1971. There you go. So by the time this came out in 78, they were fully ensconced in jazz, as Jason Alexander would have said, ensconced in velvet. And they were ensconced in jazz by then. And you can tell because the early songs, Reelin' in the Years, a couple of them that are escaping me, they're really just Bodhisattva is an earlier song than this, I believe. They're just kind of blues progressions that have a little bit of extra, edge on them with horns and great backgrounds. But these are starting to get to big, huge, heavy 5 chords in them and dominant chords that are crunchy. Also, you hear these really these great arrangements that have really great background singers in them. They've got great little counterpoint lines with the background singers. And you can kind of hear those types of relationships between the melody line and background singers continue on as it moves into other periods of music. So it's really great. Like, think of Eric Clapton or other large stage shows that happen later on. A lot of these relationships between background singers were, and the way that they correspond with the music is done there. Do it again, for example, a minor blues. So. So you can hear that there's a lot of tonality in that, right? It's really kind of direct. It's right on its nose. It's really easy to relate to. It's sort of like a groove track in comparison to. Whoops. Let's try that again. I mean, completely different atmosphere, completely different idea of what's going on. Hey, Terry says there was a Scottish band in the late 80s named Deacon Blue after the song. No way. Wow. Oh, I didn't know that. Very cool. Are you in Scotland, Terry? I have a bunch of family in Pinpont. Greg, remember the world? Does everybody remember the world before you knew everything about all of the idols in music that you had? I didn't know who any of them were either. I remember bands like Tool or bands that I were into that didn't give up a lot of information. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I thought Steely Dan was the singer, too. Wow, the Library of Congress. I would figure it'd be one that you'd want to show the aliens, Jim, if they came. You would show them this one and go, "Are you cool?" And then you'd be able to, maybe that's why it's in the Library of Congress too. But wow, considered a masterpiece of production. Well, this is why, for any of you that are audiophiles out there, it's a really well-known phenomenon for audiophiles to test their stereo equipment with Steely Dan music. And Steely Dan had the very first digital tape album recording in 1980. They were really, really big-time sonic warriors in terms of wanting music to have depth and have a lot of different sound and frequency protocol to it. So really interesting. Oh, from Dallas, but from the UK with family in Scotland. Oh, very cool. Very cool, Terry. Nazareth was a great Scottish band. Absolutely. So listening to this verse, right, where we finally have, if you guys can hear the melodies really guiding the direction of this. So a really interesting aspect of this is if you just hear the chords in isolation, it doesn't necessarily carry the same weight, but with the melody on top, you can hear directionality in those chords. And I think that's one of the really interesting things that happened in music, not only in jazz, but in post-tonal music, which is music after the tonal era, so after the Romantic period. The melody lines started to lead the chords instead of the other way around. You weren't deriving melody notes from a chord. So if I was in the key of G, my palette with maybe some added chromaticism, and now it's like, well, I'm just going to write a melody and then write chords that fit that melody. And if they move to a bunch of keys or there's a lot of substitutions, then so be it. And so I think that's what I was calling non-functional harmony earlier, meaning it doesn't really fit the normal approach of harmony prior to a lot of periods in music. It's a really interesting part of it. And there wasn't a ton of that going on the radio, the pop radio, prior to Steely Dan. There was some. And I think you could argue that Christmas songs were a place where some non-functional harmony would appear. Also, obviously, broadcasting music for television and film, in particular in the 70s. If you guys go back and listen to, Harry Mancini or like a lot of different styles of 70s film scoring, really radical, cool music stuff that was happening. Clockwork Orange, synth stuff that was happening too. Prince of Logic, I think, was probably one of the best albums, Tom. I gotta agree with you on that. I like them all to greater or lesser degrees. Katie Lied is definitely one of the albums that has some of the songs I'm less familiar with. And I don't know about you guys, but albums at this time, a lot of it was there would be a song that was on the side of the album or the side of the tape that I really liked, and so I would know all the songs in relation to it. But I might not know the other side of the tape really well if I didn't get pulled onto that other side. So a lot of it had to do with, is it in proximity to another song I like? Or if it's in my dad's car, is it one of the buttons on the 8-track? Is it jazz, Scott? It's definitely jazz. It's definitely jazz. And they made sure that you knew it was jazz because they wanted to make sure that the best way I can describe their description of the song, which is Donald Fagen talking about it, is saying, we're not as cool as jocks or football players, but we deserve cool names too. And so that's why he says, call Alabama the Crimson Tide, then call me Deacon Blues. And he's basically over jazzing this to just sort of take ownership of the nerddom. And I believe in the interview he says, losers, which, I think that's too strong of a term. I think actually they're pretty damn cool. But Ricky, don't lose that number is probably the most recognizable of all of them. Maybe between Reelin' in the Years and Ricky Don't Lose That Number, I don't know. But so there's not a ton of weirdness in that song either in comparison to this. So we're sort of starting the Steely Dan series out with getting the more radical stuff out of the way, and then moving to, I think we're going to do Reelin' in the Years. We're definitely going to do Ricky Don't Lose That Number. And so for Eugene's segment here, I got to tell you guys a little bit more about who played on the song and what happened. So if you guys look up Bernard Purdie, famous drummer, not just session drummer, famous touring drummer. The Purdie Shuffle is a famous groove that Bernard Purdie's associated with. It's a must know. And this is one of those deals where the rhythm of this song is not overly complicated. It's a pretty kind of a Latin rock rhythm continuously throughout, so you can hear that do 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 do, which is like half of a clave. So when you're hearing that all the way through, it adds another layer of sophistication on it. And if we jump all the way to the chorus here, and die behind the wheel. So it's an uplifting number. So this is just a hip song, and I think it's a really great way if you want to learn a bunch of jazz chords, but you don't just want to learn them out of context, right? A lot of the jazz chords that I learned, the voicings, I wasn't rifling through exercises, and nobody was back in the day so much, unless you went off to a music school at a young age. You were learning songs, and then they would have a few sort of jazzy chords in them. And you would put that chord sort of into your lexicon. Well, this one adds a crap ton of them, right? So if you want to know some jazz chords, if you want to be able to use them in succession, this is a great song to do it. And I think it's one of the types of songs that really expands, and he says it in the song, the expanding man, and he Donald Fagen was talking about expanding spirituality. I think he was talking about expanding his belief systems, his identity, which means he was probably doing a lot of mushrooms. And so I think that good for him. I think that basically the idea of expanding is sort of a tone poem or a tonal idea that happens in the chords to the song as well. It's not really in any particular key that I can derive. Parts of it are clearly in a key. I would say that the chorus is in A minor, but the other parts of the song, I think there's an argument for D flat Lydian, and there's not a whole lot of clarity because there's a lot of rifling through, and we call those through composed or atonal music in many respects. So non-functional harmony, atonal music. With all that, without worrying about any of that, this is a great song to learn a ton of chords on. And because you know how the song goes, you're using them in context, and you're adding these shapes to your identity. So for anybody that's really interested in this one, I'm going to put it on the Patreon, and what I'll do is if you find something like this really difficult in comparison to what you've done before, just take the intro, because it's such a doable part of the song. Boy, this is a really unsightly thing on my finger. I just noticed that on camera. Can we get this airbrushed out later? Let me talk to Eugene, see if we have the budget. So that's a bunch of the same shape moving around. So if you want a lot of practice moving around the same shape, you can impress your friends, only the wittiest of them. So I hope that sort of helps you guys, for one, hear a solo guitar arrangement of this, but two, appreciate a little bit of the idea that nerds used to write music about their nerdery and embrace it. And I think that's an important thing we should bring back. So Kid Charlemagne's coming. Greg, excellent pull. Just tell people I got a finger tattoo. Jim. You know what? I think they're into it these days. I'm not doing a face tattoo. I mean, I'll do like a henna face tattoo just for cred. But I did. I filled one out with Rex, my dog, and he said that he's like, we're not going to pay for this. So I'm thinking about suing my feet at some point here. It's just, I didn't think that, that feet don't fail me now thing would ever apply to me just from sitting, I assumed that I would be able to sit for the remainder of my life and then walk afterwards up until the very end. And it doesn't look like that's going to work out that way. So I feel betrayed. No, it's true. And have you guys ever, both feet were asleep. So I don't know, was I unconscious leading up to this, right? I stand up and I realize the feet they're not going to do it. They're not even going to grip the floor. Nothing's going to happen here. And I went down. Yeah. Phone broken. Just the screen, but And then this thing and a little bit on my arm. A lot of complaining. I did, the whole day was diverted to complain about it. So that's a big part of it. So sorry, let me get back to your questions here. Let's see. There we go. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks for tuning in. This is a cerebral number, Just say I got injured in the big game. Great to see you, Eric. Bruce, great to see you, buddy. Oh, it's the old. Oh, awesome. So, you guys let me know what's a Steely Dan song that you guys love, if any. And that's what I'm thinking, Jim, is for a little bit of street cred. I should say it was a St. Paddy's Day fight. The Fighting Irish. And the other thing would be, do you like these song deep dive formats? I think these are kind of fun, and they're a great way to look into a song, especially looking at the solo guitar version. If you check out the full score that I uploaded, you can see what everybody's doing on it, which is really kind of fun. And it's literally got all the instruments that play on the song have their own staff. But I think that a song like this affords somebody the ability to expand their chordal repertoire in a way that they might not do otherwise, So if it's something that interests you guys, let me know. I'm not sure where. I think Eugene I can't remember if he had a conflict. I have a gig tomorrow night, so I know that I couldn't do tomorrow night because that's why we had to move it to today. And I'm not sure where Eugene is. That's a good question. He told me he's jealous because Eugene. This is one of Eugene's favorite Steely Dan songs. So I think when he comes in next week, he's going to be jelly. So just be ready for that, you guys. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. You guys, it's about 98 degrees in LA today. 98 degrees. It doesn't even get that hot during the summer here. So I don't know what's going on, but this is unacceptable. Yeah, 98's boiling hot for here, especially like in Hollywood. If you go into the valley, it would make a little bit more sense. But I know some of you live down in Tom. That's one of my faves too. Yeah. There's a song off the first album that Donald Fagen doesn't sing called Dirty. I'll think of it in a second. But I didn't even know Steely Dan didn't, that they made that song. So there's only a few songs that Donald Fagen didn't sing that they're associated with. And My Old School's got to be one of my favorites. Okay, Jim, you got it. That's a great call. My Old School would be a great one. Yeah. I think one of the reasons it might be great is to... it was really... Wow. So you're saying it got really cold in Atlanta, John? That's wild. We're getting some crazy weather. It was 85 3 days ago. 32 was the high today. Whoa! That is radical, you guys. Oh, my gosh. It's like apocalyptic weather going on here. Wild. 85 3 days ago and 30. Have you guys noticed when the weather changes that bad, man, my body's like, what the hell are you guys doing out here? Anyways. Yeah, that's wild. So I think Kid Charlemagne's solo's got to be one of the ones we do because it's just one of the coolest guitar solos in history, potentially. And I want to make Eugene play the chord progression. I just want to make Eugene play all this stuff. Tom, are you here in sorry, Tom, I think you told me. Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? Unbelievably, guys. Well, hang in there. 30s for Atlanta is pretty darn cold. Although I think I've seen snow in Atlanta before, but not many times. Not often, at least. So, hang in there, everybody. Hopefully this is just a fluke year, and this doesn't become normal. All right, well, hey, everybody. I'm going to give you one more playthrough on the way out. I'll get this uploaded as soon as I go and pick up my phone from, Southwest Colorado. That's great. Yeah, that's really warm for Colorado in March. Unbelievable. I'll give you a playthrough, upload this evening when I get the phone back. And thanks so much for being here, guys. Here we go, Deacon Blues. Another great one down the tube. Intro. Hey, thank you guys. Thanks so much for being here today. You made me feel better. I'm going to get this uploaded. Thanks so much for supporting us, you guys, and we're looking forward to... I will take my bifocals off before I attempt stairs. Scott, that's good advice. Jim, when I grow up, I want to have a stable life like you guys. No, I appreciate all you guys, honestly. Thanks so much for being here. Can't wait till we get back. Me and Eugene will start some serious shenanigans, okay? Maybe we'll go back and visit St. Patty's Day. And we'll get Rex drunk. What do you think? Thanks, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon.